Will they hear us talking though?
Well, hello, good morning, selamat pagi, petang, siang, malam. It is your host for today, Nyx Sulaiman, eternal college student of my axis. And today we will be having a very interesting discussion for today. It won't be about D&D as it has been for the past two podcasts. Instead, it will be more on more on the software that most 3D virtual YouTubers have been using for quite a while now. Pixiv's own VRoid Studio. And what better person to talk about VRoid Studio than none other than MyVT's own underground virtual auntie. So, Amanda, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi. Well, I guess I don't know how much of an underground auntie I am already, but anyway, hello there. Virtual shopkeeper Amanda Alywen of Alywen Designs here. I do VRoid related stuff as mentioned, and I also share my Twitch account with my quote unquote VTuber son and mainly make content on VRoid Studio, and I sometimes also stream like video essay making and stuff like that. However, I've been busy with like preparing for Virtual Market 5, where I can sort of showcase all my designs over there with like Southeast Asian designs.
Okay, nice. Southeast Asian designs, you say?
Yep.
All right. Oh, and hello, Apex. Welcome.
Selamat pagi.
Yeah, selamat pagi,
Hisashiburi.
Hello, Apex. Welcome to the podcast we just started. All right. So, Southeast Asian designs, you say? What would you say would be the cornerstone of Southeast Asian design?
Well, actually, it'll be quite difficult to actually put like a cornerstone because you're talking about there's an Indochina version of it, which is like some people call it the mainland Southeast Asia version, and then also there's the maritime or the Nusantara version of like the Southeast Asian design. So in that sense, you could probably sort of like see a split between the more Islamic influenced maritime region versus the more Hindu Buddhist influenced designs of the mainland Southeast Asian region, actually.
Okay. Oh, interesting. I see. Oh, hello, Thyproper Fox, and hello, Honeys. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
All right. Let's see. All right. So, considering that we have the Indochine and the maritime Southeast Asian designs, what would you say that your designs are more focused on when it comes to the Southeast Asian aspects that you can talk about?
I guess I would definitely say the more maritime version of things, but because I'm also like a Chinese, like, what's the word for it? I'm Huaqiao. Oh no, my brain is not exactly working well this morning. Yeah, Chinese migrants from into the Southeast Asian region, so there's definitely still a lot more like Chinese influences as well. So I take inspiration from like wuxia elements and also the Hanfu elements as well. So yeah.
I see. How does that exactly tie into your background, guys? Like, I know that you are an underground auntie of sorts, a seamstress shopkeeper. How does that exactly tie into the whole, well, foundational aspect of things, shall we say?
I mean, I guess you could say that that's basically the source of inspiration for where I design my clothes. Then, although definitely in order to appeal to a more mass market perspective, you've got to have like some anime influences, I guess. So in that sense, you have to sort of like marry the traditional styles that I have sort of like studied informally over my years. Well, not even years actually. I think it's my when I officially started doing seamstress work was probably only sometime last year when I watched Bernadette Venner and her amazing like walkthrough of how she designed a modernized Edwardian walking skirt, and then I was like, oh, okay, I should probably start looking into the history of my own cultural background, and like incorporating some modernizing elements into it. And with that in mind, the opportunity for using VRoid Studio only came about after I was basically trapped at home for like the period of the circuit breaker in Singapore. And I mean, which by the way, I am living in Singapore, but I'm still Malaysian. So for those who are listening in for the first time. Anyway, so during that period of the circuit breaker, like my ex-colleagues and I, we were actually discussing the fact that it's not likely that the physical seamstress work of like either altering clothes or making clothes for other people is going to take off. So it's like, well, time to pivot to something else. And then I just stumbled upon like VRoid Studio and VR chats because I was like, might as well use this time to either learn a new skill or something, which was like, or in my case, like honing into the Japanese language and then seeing all these like polyglots flexing their skills on VR chat, and then realizing, oh yeah, there was VRoid Studio. What can we do over here? And then the rabbit hole just begun from there.
I see. Hello, Kazakira. Welcome.
Hello there.
Welcome to the podcast. All right. Not gonna lie, that is actually a very interesting background that you have there. You could.
Yeah, and a very long-winded one. I'm sorry.
No. Like you can actually write a book about that.
Well, that would include a lot of this. If you want to really write a book about my life, it's a lot of disparate chapters and everything, because each one of these arcs of like picking up new skills is just kind of like there'll be a lot of drop plot points. It'll be a very frustrating book to read, I assure you that.
No, it's okay. Just write it like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and it will be fine. Speaking of, if one were to drop by Amanda's shop over on Booth, which by the way you can check over in the description below, you are a self-proclaimed JoJo fan.
Oh yeah.
How did that come about?
I say that, but then I still haven't read like chapter 101 out of JoJo yet.
Yes, hello.
And what's this? How I became an Asian mom and an underground shop.
Yes. Yes.
Oh no.
The next best-selling light novel.
Well, if only my drawing skills are up to par, then yeah, that'll be the next best-selling best-selling. Oh no, wait, it's a light novel. You could write it.
The only way to make it even more light novel-y is if you made it even longer, like something like, I don't know. I used to work at the foundation, and then some things happened, and now I became an Asian mom in an underground shop virtual auntie.
Yeah, which could also be an interesting tale of like survival, because like the sort of like businessman way of thinking didn't exactly come about until I actually got let go. So it's like, oof, I gotta survive now. Boom, become an underground shop house auntie.
All right. So how would you say that the skills from physical seamstressing carried over into virtual seamstressing in VRoid Studio?
Well, I mean, it's just the awareness of like how pieces are placed together. Okay, but the thing that makes it different is that with virtual clothing, it's like the flats and the texture mapping is very different from the way you would have it in the physical clothing. But I must say, the sleeves are still pretty much very similar with like physical clothing. Although personally, I have not touched or done anything that has to do with dealing with the sleeves, which is like, because when you're dealing with like a physical piece of cloth that is curved this way already, right? It stretches, since it's not like laid out on a straight grid or anything like that. So when you are sewing in the sleeves, the curves would actually cause the cloth to warp, and that's why among the seamstress community it's known as like the sleevels. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's interesting. How do you spell that?
sleevel. Okay, hang on, let me type that out. I mean, it's a very informal term, not gonna lie, it's just like,
Oh,
yeah,
and that refers to what again?
the sewing the sleeves in, because
Ah,
the curves cause the cloth to warp out of control, and then it's just a pain to actually do it, because you gotta like slow down um as you stitch the sleeves in. So
okay.
yeah,
All right. Going slightly
I've,
off topic. The term sleevel, did it come from the word weevil, as in like is it the insect, or is it more like the evil of sleeves?
yeah, it's just sleeves, and yeah, and how evil it is to
Ah,
to just like stitch it together.
the evil sleeve.
Yep.
Ah, I see. And of course, I'd imagine that making virtual clothes is, I guess, much less of a hassle.
Yeah, it's much less of a hassle, but not gonna lie though, still adding those details is almost just as painful as like embroidering something still, because it's like you're I mean, okay, admittedly there's less time needed to paint on an embroidery with digital art, but it's still just as painful anyway, because you are trying to like figure out what kind of design that you want to put on for, like, say a cheongsam or a whatnot. That's why, like, if you were to even look at my design right now, my base jean is still plain as all heck, because I have not thought of like what I wanted to even put as my design on like the tips of the coat and stuff like that. So yeah.
I see. Very well, very well. And again, if you're wondering what that cheongsam looks like, head on over to her shop on booth. All right. Okay. So aside from just seamstressing, VRoid Studio, as of course you may very well know, is a 3D character creator that is free.
Mhm.
How is your experience using it so far? How is it as a
Oh,
software?
it's as a software, it's got a lot of features that really make it like great. It also basically has done its duty of like democratizing 3D modeling, if you will.
Oh,
At
okay.
least for those who want to actually create a human model, as opposed to like something like Blender, which is like, oh no, how do you even begin? You got to do the Blender donut tutorial and everything, and you're like, what is going on? But now that you actually have a base with you, all you need to do is to just know how to like texture map it, and then yeah, basically when you're designing clothes in VRoid Studio, it's just, sorry, I just, okay, that there goes my breakfast. uh, so it's once you know the kind of texture that you want to create on a VRoid model, it's pretty easy to sort of like translate that into like from 2D to 3D, because you're just like looking at a 3D shape, sort of like marking out where you want the things to be at, and then after that bringing it into a 2D editing platform, and then putting it back into 3D. So yeah, I believe that's also the technique that most other like Japanese VRoid creators also have. Like I've seen a poll where Dust Ian ran, and he's like, okay, do you actually draft out on 3D first and then put it into 2D or 3D, or do you actually just do the entire thing on 2D first and then put it into 3D? It's like, nah, mostly 3D first.
Mostly 2D first. All right. I see. Oh no. Oh, my face is glitching out. There we go.
Oh no. Ah, yes, the underground scientist. Well,
Hello,
who is not really apparently not
hello,
very
Hakase, hello.
underground anymore. Hello.
Hello, Hakase. Welcome to the podcast. We're just talking about, well, VRoid Studio as a software, and Amanda's hypothesis that it has democratized the entire 3D modeling scene, at least when it comes to human models.
Mm-hmm.
Would you then say would it be too much of a stretch to say that it is if not the revolution, but almost the start of what may be the industrial revolution of 3D modeling?
I guess so. Well, I mean, if the VTuber scene is anything to go by, well, not just VTubing, actually, just the virtuals in general, like people who use a virtual avatar and then enter VR chat with like a sense of identity and stuff like that. This is definitely like the first steps that a person can actually take to just embody their how they want to look and like how they want to present themselves and just enter a world and just go.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. It is quite interesting though, like this concept of whole like content creator with a virtual avatar, because I believe even long before the advent of VR chat, you've had actually quite a few notable content creators that refused to show their face and usually went by either faceless and representing themselves with a PNG, or simply animated their own stuff like in 3D or 2D. Best people I can think of are the earliest one I can remember was actually Cry Aotic, if you remember him. back in the let's play YouTuber boom of, I think, the early 2010s.
Yeah, there's also Nyx as well, right?
Yes, Nyx.
Yeah, his is just an entire like PNG of himself and stuff like that. But the thing is, it's like, well, it seems like some of his later videos also has him like interacting with the big three VTubers like Project Melody, Iron Mouse, and who's the other one?
Bunny.
I guess.
Wait,
can't really remember.
Wait, no, wait. It's Project Melody, Iron Mouse, and
Silvervale.
Yes,
Yeah,
Silvervale.
that's
Yes.
the one.
No. Hakase, not Nutaku. Nyx.
Yeah, let me just spell it out. Nyx. He's kind of known to be pretty shitposty, and for me, it's like, I don't know. Maybe this is just my auntie senses talking lah. Some of it is a hit, some of it is a miss. But even though as he talks about all of these things, right, he had some really good stuff that also makes you think. Which, I mean, prior to me hopping in with a VTuber avatar and everything, I've also done like video essays and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. The thing about those sorts of people is that like they've been around, argue like long before the concept of what we now know as VTubers come about. And as a VTuber yourself, like this is a pretty interesting conundrum. What exactly do you think defines the difference between a VTuber and a content creator with a virtual avatar?
Oh man, that's literally the one conversation that also has been going around that even Aiden and I also sometimes bring up on stream, right? Because it's like, for him, he says that he's a content creator first and foremost, but he's also still considered a VTuber now that he also has debuted with a live 2D and everything. But at the same time, it's like, because like, as much as I want to say that it is a trend, and this might also ruffle the knickers of some people who say that no, VTubing is not a trend, it's been around for a longest time as well, blah 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 blah, right? But people hopping into the VTuber skin is definitely trend hopping, and I am not an exception. Like, you can just go ahead and shoot me all you want, because I have also done the exact same thing that I am about to criticize, because yeah, it is a trend. I am hopping in because I wanted to make more clothes for like virtuals and everything, and I see this as an outlet to express that creativity and maybe help to inspire some people to also go ahead and like pick up like clothes designing on their own terms and knowing where to look for if they want to look for like Southeast Asian inspiration too. So it's like, yeah. So the conundrum of where the line between what makes a VTuber and what doesn't is seriously blur for me as well, because I can't really answer that since I'm also not a typical VTuber.
I mean, going by that logic, neither am I.
Well,
All right. Okay. Hello, Faizan. Welcome to the podcast. We were just
Hello.
we're just getting to the part where we are trying to define what is a VTuber and how is it different from a faceless YouTuber that goes by a drawing or a character model. Again, like going by that logic, so would I. And being the eternal college student that I am, with the accumulated knowledge of what is essentially essay writing.
Yeah.
I guess if I were to make a distinction, is that like people that define themselves as VTubers usually use a very specific set of software. Not either set of software or a combination of software. So it's either a 3D modeling software like VRoid Studio, or if you're an absolute mad lad, Blender or Maya, in combination with something that exports either as a VRM, then later turns into that gets rigged onto something like Leopard VC Face 3T, whatever it is. Or if it's 2D, a very specific drawing done almost exclusively on Live 2D or as a floating Discord PNG, if they cannot afford it. And I guess the other thing that I believe is the bigger separation between VTubers and YouTuber that has virtual avatar would be oh, hello, Count Julius. Hello.
Hello.
Fancy seeing you here. Right. I guess again, as I was saying, I guess the bigger difference would be the fact that VTubers almost always come in with this preconception of the Japanese notion of an idol.
Why you gotta call me out like this?
I mean, there is
nothing like that.
There is an old Malay saying that goes, "Whoever eats the chili tastes the spice."
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've already basically threw it out there in that auntie rap that I'm not an idol type VTuber. But the thing is, even if the preconceived notion of the idol type VTuber actually exists in the Japanese sphere, there are some who specifically say that they are not that, and that they are just like this specific niche of the thing that they're doing, like either just VRoid creator, V creator, or like a guitar playing version of a VTuber, or the most evil sounding duo of VTubers, that kind of thing. So it's like, it's within Japan, it has already like separated itself into all these different niches, but then in the English side, it's still like this mass lump of goo, so to speak, where people are just like streaming games or like drawing or singing karaoke, and it's like all three of them combined at one, and you're like, I can't do all of that,
I mean, I can't do all of that either, but here we are.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's high time that even the EN VTuber community should actually start like niching out already, like actually defining themselves by the genre that they want, rather than just still trying to force fit themselves into only like, oh, I'm a VTuber, I have to game, I have to do this because look at me, I don't even stream games that much. And also the thing is, I find it really interesting that VTubers seem to have like this pressure on them to be live streamers as well, even though the name is VTubers, like virtual YouTubers, rather than virtual streamers or something like that.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that's more because, well, of the group that has popularized the term VTuber, namely Hololive.
Hololive.
But
Yeah.
most of them are streamers.
Yep.
No, I think no, all of them are streamers actually.
Yeah. I think they all have to stream.
So I guess that's where the misnomer comes around. But also, it's interesting you mentioned that VTubers need to start niching out already, because if one were observant of the social media trend over like on the VTuber side of things, you can sort of see that niching happening already, although not necessarily based on the kind of content they do per se, but it's more on the type of character that the type of character and feel that their VTuber avatar is, such as if you are a cryptid VTuber, you usually go like, hey, I'm a cryptid VTuber, or if you're a monster, V monsters, etc.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can also see this in and this isn't necessarily new per se, because like if you look at, I think, Nijisanji, like they separate their groups between the themes of each generation. So you have the fairy tales, the fairy tale gen within Nijisanji, where you have Gibara among other people.
And then meanwhile, there's the two of us humans.
I'm not too sure about that, but anyways.
Is there some hidden lore of Nyx Sulaiman that I don't know?
Maybe. Let's just say the eternal part of college student is there for a reason. Anyways, so
I think Count Julius might actually find some company with your title then, seeing as he's also a vampire. Maybe.
I don't know. Yes, okay, yes. Yeah, like Hololive Ian doesn't only also have Holomyth, they are Holomyth.
Yeah, right now at least. Maybe the next time around they'll have like something else. But...
Although to be fair, I see they are going for the I think Fate Grand Order logic of how myths work, because yes, Sherlock Holmes is my favorite mythological creature.
Yeah. Yes, and with a name like Amelia Watson.
It's like yes, of course. Death itself, Phoenix, Shark, and
Cthulhu, Shark.
Cthulhu, and Investigator.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this actually brings it back to what you said earlier about how, I guess, VRoid has democratized the, I guess in a sense, the VTubing scene by essentially making it a whole lot more, well, accessible, yes, yeah. By like with the very low entry point of free.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and like, and you could, and in a way you could say that this explosion of VTubers, at least 3D ones anyway, have been made entirely possible thanks to software like stuff like VRoid Studio.
Yeah, for sure. It's something that I'm actually really thankful for, and it's not just the software itself. I feel like Pixiv has actually managed to create an entire ecosystem of VRoid users and just like virtuals in general, because like they also own Booth, which is their e-commerce arm for indie creators who want to actually sell like their doujin stuff and such like that. But then they also have specifically the tag for like VRoid studio makers to actually sell their clothing in there. So it's like, so because of that, that was where I just kind of like jumped on the opportunity to actually start designing clothes for VRoid Studio, because the ecosystem already exists, and just participating in that. And then while even though right now it's not very feasible to actually turn it into a full-time thing, because like if you're looking at the prices, it's basically, if you compare a physical shirt and then a virtual shirt, it's like basically 1/10 of a price of a shirt, because it's like the price disparity is there because you don't even need to have physical production of said shirt in the physical realm. You're just drawing and just sinking in all that time that you make to like design the clothing, and then just selling it off by the hours that you put in to design said clothes and package it into something nice. So yeah, but in that sense, it's almost as if it's like a completely risk-free way of starting up a small like corner shop of you just doing just designing virtual clothes for like this really niche market right now. But I still see it as something potentially growing, because even though initially like my customer base is very much split between like Japan and rest of the world, I'm starting to see more people from the rest of the world actually coming into my shop, and then after that buying the stuff. But then again, maybe it's because the quality of my work doesn't exactly match like Japanese craftsmanship, and that's also something that I need to work on. So yeah.
Well, a craftsman never truly finishes learning.
Yeah.
And that actually brings us to like to the next part of the of today's podcast I actually wanted to talk about, and you just provided a pretty neat little segue. So, Booth, how we've talked about VRoid as almost as a software, and your thoughts on it for quite a bit. Now, like we've also seen that that again, Pixiv, with the creation of VRoid, has essentially started up. No, not even started up. Sorry, has almost created an entire new market. Like just straight after its creation, not just on Booth specifically, but even allowing other creatives such as yourselves to essentially start making clothes and like and basically sell it, and we start selling it, like almost as if as you pointed out, there is its own ecosystem, and there is now a booming economy surrounding it. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that VRoid almost as a market creator?
Yeah, it's in that sense it is pretty amazing. Like they've just basically created that demand and supply system over there, and it's something that I think only like a company like Pixiv should be able to do, because they have all the resources, and they know what it is that they are who they're targeting. Like basically, like this is just a hypothesis. I can't confirm this. I feel like I need to look up like Ludmila's like research on like the virtual avatar like culture surrounding Japan in general, because there's probably already an underlying need for like Japanese people to sort of like anonymize themselves, and then since like anime manga is already so ingrained into them, that it just makes sense to want to embody yourself as an anime character or manga like character, so that you can anonymize while still having a sense of identity in the online sphere. So when that happens, and then you create a software that makes it accessible for people to do all of that, then it would just naturally like grow because of that, because they want to self-actualize, they want to they want to find a way to express themselves without revealing who they are on the inside, and that specific software and that specific ecosystem actually answers that.
Yeah, you're right. That's, Yeah, that is a very interesting thing. Like basically, starting a solo market. However, of course, uh, of course, being that we live in a capitalist society, like chances are there will most definitely be a competing software or even a competing market that might sprout out in the near future, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
or maybe even sooner than we think. Yeah,
Yeah, perhaps.
considering that we now live in pretty strange times where we now yearn to go outside as we are now stuck inside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a competing piece of software like rising in place of VRoid as well. And then if anything, when that happens, I'll just sort of like look around a little bit and see if there are any if that thing has any sort of potential, how much time I want to sink into it, and then after that, perhaps also make that as an entrance point to another type of virtual clothes making. I mean, Second Life is a thing in the States. Like for some reason, that virtual marketplace is a lot more popular over there compared to like VR chat. VR chat seems to be dominated a bit more by the Asian side of things. Or I could be wrong because I personally don't play Second Life. I just kind of like hopped into VR chat because I'm like, I want to learn Japanese, and then things happened. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The like seeing as how VR chat and VRoid are, well, they essentially both use 3D models per se. Like how would you describe the process of creating a model for VR chat?
Well, I mean, there are plenty of other tutorials that have actually done this already, where it's like first you gotta export it out as a VRM file, then depending on how well, I mean, there are two methods that I know of. The one where it keeps the native file of like VRM by using a Unity plugin for that, which is UniVRM, and
Mm-hmm.
then just uploading it as it is after getting rid of the dynamic bones over there, and then replacing it with a FBX friendly one. Then there's the other option, which is using the Cats Blender plugin, where after importing the VRM file into Blender, which also requires a plugin for Blender, and then fixing the model, then exporting it out as an FBX, which is actually a lot more native to the Unity interface anyway, and then uploading that one instead.
All right. Okay. 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 So overall, simple or complex process?
Complex at first, but then once you figure that out, then it's just as easy as remembering the steps that you've done before. It's kind of like riding a bicycle, even though I don't ride a bicycle.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, reeling it back a bit actually uh to the VRoid creation process and your job as a virtual seamstress.
I wouldn't call it a job, but it's more of a side gig.
A gig
Yeah.
is still a job somewhat.
Somewhat.
Somewhat. Right. So we talked a lot about making clothes. How about accessories? Because I'm pretty sure the meme floats around that practically anything and everything made in VRoid is hair.
Yes.
Why?
Yeah. Well, it happens. So I mean, I know that my tutorial. Okay, not to toot my own horn. That tutorial on like making accessories with hair was a thing that kind of blew up, and I'm like, well, YouTube algo, hi, why? but yeah, I mean, why specifically that? It's because I think the hair tool is actually really flexible in allowing like different types of accessories to be made. Because if anything, like, I think this will be the one thing that any sort of competing software would have trouble like making, is like, how do you make that hair tool so like so how do you say it, friendly towards like 2D artists, but at the same time taking into account the the needs of a 3D a what needs to go into a 3D shape, right? So it's like you have the mesh tool that you can use to like stretch things out into either a flat plane or like into a specific shape that you want to make. Then the painting part of it is where the 2D things actually come in, where you're just drawing that hair out, and that's how you kind of are able to sort of like make things like earrings, glasses. Heck, I mean, I think my current pair of glasses is also used with the mesh in itself rather than just a straight piece of bar and then texturing it. I still haven't updated yet.
Okay.
And then just going wild from there. Okay, but it kind of has a caveat though. Right now, all of the accessories are rigged to the head. So if you are going to move your head up and down, the accessories will also just move it that way. That is until you put it into like Blender or Unity. There's a specific piece of code that can actually re-rig your bones into a different part of the body. So if you have a tail, it will be rigged to that instead. So I think Virtual Deep made that tutorial. So that would be pretty useful for some other virtual citizens out there who want to actually have like tails or bracelets and stuff like that, so that it's rigged to a different part of the 3D model instead.
Oh, hang on. Everything's glitching out a bit. There we go.
All right, is it back to normal?
It's back to normal.
All right, cool.
All right, so that's a very lengthy and very and actually very educational explanation as to why a lot of things in VRoid are hair.
Well, yeah.
I didn't think
as much as it's the hair tool, it's just a tool for anything. Like, I think I've already mentioned this name like a couple of times, like Budo Mari, making a blimp or a train or a ship or a plane
with hair.
With hair.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a stand that uses hair. Isn't that Yukako from part 4?
Yeah, either like Love Deluxe or Love Deluxe in part 8.
Ah, wait, oh yeah, I haven't gone that far in part 8. Damn it.
Yes, there is another stand user that uses hair again in part 8, and instead of it being Love Deluxe, it's actually Love Deluxe. And her personality is like is a complete shift away from Yukako and that yandere looking thing that she does.
So she's more of a dere then.
She's more of a Cloud Cuckoo-lander, I would say.
Ah, okay. Fair enough. Cloud Cuckoo-lander. I see. I also noticed you may or may not peruse the TV tropes every now and then.
I spent my teen years looking through that site.
Fair enough. So have I. At least during the later parts. At least during the later parts of my teen years.
Mm-hmm.
As for me, I think I sank a good chunk of my teen years actually doing a very deep dive into the Toho fandom. Yes, I know, and it's actually kind of sad that there's not a lot of people that I know that are into Toho. And when it comes to like VTubers, I think the only one that comes to mind is that it is this wonderful guy named Soma Rigel. I don't know how to pronounce that last part. Yeah, Soma. Possibly the only Toho-based VTuber I've come across so far. Other than that, not really.
That's a shame.
I know it is a shame, but it also leads to conflicting feelings as whenever people ask who is my favorite. Yes, serial number. No, Akil, you ruined it. It should be number 9. And Amanda's lost.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's a joke. It's an inside joke. All right. Speaking of which, that again, as I was saying, it also leads to some really interesting situations. I say interesting a lot. I need more like a really I get it, it's something that should be mundane. Doesn't really matter, but makes it very difficult whenever people ask me who my favorite like Hololive like VTuber is.
That makes it difficult for me too.
Because deep down in my heart, like I like Korone, but but Hosho Marine loves Toho.
Oh, ouch!
Like really loves Toho, and she even I think she even like made a collaboration album with with the Toho music circle. Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. But I believe it's IOSIS Eosis. And they've made a lot of like the well known and beloved fan music that has been made into countless memes over the years. Some you may have even come across on TV tropes. But then again, TV tropes is a very wide and expansive place.
Yeah, it's almost like walking through a library. So
much like the booth marketplace. So tell me, what are your experiences like being a booth seller?
I mean, I guess it's pretty easy to set up your shop. It's just a matter of like figuring out how you kind of want to brand yourself, I guess. So I mean, seeing as I tried the whole like physical shop thing and I already have like a brand template from there, I just basically reused whatever that I did over there, shut down that Facebook and Instagram pages that I had for said previous life as the physical seamstress and just ported it over into booth. So yeah, it's not that hard.
Okay, so it's not that hard. It's not that hard. All right. But what are your experiences as a whole, just being on the booth marketplace?
Okay, wait. In what sense though?
In what sense? All right. I guess first off would be, again, as a seller, but not in the sense of like setting it up, but sales.
Okay. I would say that first of all, right? Most of the traffic that goes into my website as the e-commerce store actually comes from booth in itself. So that's something that I am very much grateful for. However, the search engine algorithm is still something I haven't been able to crack. So like this is my digital marketing like hoo-ha kind of like coming out already. It's like, how do I optimize this and make sure that I actually appear near the front page so that people will know that, dude, I exist here a lot more effectively than just than just relying on the algorithm. So that's why it's how like the social media marketing thing comes into play, like, and then same thing with like having your YouTube channel and even streaming it if you must, which that in itself is also an interesting thing. But then I digress. So booth's marketplace. So like, I mean, I guess it's the same thing as like browsing through Amazon and Lazada for like the Southeast Asian shoppers here. It's like at first the items are going to look very unbranded, but then once people actually click into it, that's where you have to try and sort of like win them over with like, what is it that you do, your unique selling point from other sellers and stuff like that. So I mean, which was very interesting. I actually asked one of my customers, right, that what's the one thing that caused them to actually buy something from me as opposed to another seller is the fact that I actually translate between like English and Japanese, and so that the use case for like my clothing also becomes a lot more accessible to the international market. And if you were to also troll through booth right now, there are lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of dresses, which is a good thing for me because I suck at dresses, but I do unisex designs. There aren't that many shops or people selling unisex and or masculine designs over at booth. So I am also still fulfilling a sort of like niche over there.
You know what? You actually bring up an excellent point. As well as you may have noticed, being the sharp-eyed auntie that you are, the clothes that I am wearing are actually bought from Booth.
Yeah.
Well, and yes, you are entirely correct when you say that there really aren't that many creators making unisex clothes at all, let alone masculine.
Yeah, like I can only name off the top of my head like probably two right now. Like Dusty End is definitely one.
Oh,
And
definitely.
then the next one is Hakamori-san shop, which is like still aiming for an unisex design, but definitely masculine. Even his avatar is masculine. Then other than that, Yasai is another one. YSIY, but then pronounced like Yasai, like
Okay.
vegetables.
All right.
And there's Bell one as well, which is it leans unisex, but there are some really nice suits that the person sells as well. Like that, like so more on the formal wear side of things, I would say.
Yeah, that one I've also noticed. A lot of them do formal wear. Not much do well. Yes. Hello, Ricky.
Oh, hello. Yes.
You're pretty much correct. There's not much unisex or masculine outfits and textures in Booth. It needs more. Yes.
I know, right?
Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, and I guess it's almost a blessing and a curse in and of itself that the ones that are really good, at least when it comes to those like masculine designs, they are well still affordable. And usually the most expensive ones, like single piece ones I've seen are they usually go around for 500 yen.
Yeah.
$5 American, which roughly translates to 20 ringgit Malaysian.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot for what is essentially a virtual product, but I've seen more expensive stuff going for on the feminine side of things, where I think there's even a dress that was selling for 1,500 yen or $15.
Oh, yeah. I think I've seen those, but I'm pretty sure that means that the detailing work over there is like.
Oh, trust me, the detailing work is astounding.
Yeah. Oh yes, I've also seen one where it is a full model where it is like, while the face is actually made using VRoid, it does not look like a VRoid face, and then the clothes are all completely like modeled from scratch. So that went in around like US dollars 300 plus, and I was like, whew! Yeah, that suit is fancy as all heck. I want that, but it is so expensive. And I'm like, does this mean that there will be a luxury market for like VRoid users in the end afterwards? I don't know.
I mean, hey, it is a market. It is a market.
Yeah.
A fledgling one at that. But seeing the trend of VTubers at the moment, like, I mean, it's not slowing down, despite some setbacks in the English side. It's definitely like there will come a time where there'll be like what you mentioned, luxury goods for virtual items.
Yeah, that's literally gonna give me ideas to actually launch a luxury line if I actually do that though. But I need to get good. I need to get good. I really need to get good first.
Sasuga underground shopkeep auntie.
Yeah. But nah, I definitely need to get good first, especially since it's something that requires a little bit more on the 3D modeling side of things rather than just like painting some stuff on and just going like, okay, that's a piece of clothes. Go ahead, sell it. No. it has to be like, it has to feel luxurious. You have to got it, like, it has to be an experience. Luxury brands just usually tap on the idea of experiencing them rather than like just buying it off the rack, you know? You gotta make it really, you know? Sorry.
Yeah, I get
was weird.
I get what you mean. It's like the difference between I guess a regular old a regular old cheongsam that you buy off like the flea market and the really and the really like high market top dollar stuff made with like genuine silk and embroidered with gold.
Yeah, yep.
Now okay, you know what? That actually like got me to think of something. If big if by the way, if you were to actually launch a luxury line of goods on your shop, how do you plan on achieving that luxury effect?
Definitely more embroidery.
Um,
if there's anything, right, it's definitely the look and feel of like having all the details like put into said texture. Like there's a reason why in like Chinese, the Chinese system of like embroidery is also like super intricate and stuff like that. It's because, you know, it takes a lot of hard work to just look at where you're placing that goddamn pixel on a piece of like thing so that it looks nice at like different angles. I think it's something that I definitely need to ask someone like Kaiso about, because he said that he's done pixel art before. So that like, I don't know, like my color sense isn't the best. Let's just put it that way. Like the only thing I can do is just look at big colors, and then after that, okay, this color looks good over here. Let's just do that. It's the very like safe Uniqlo way of like doing things. But if you want a luxury line,
I like Uniqlo.
I know, I like Uniqlo as well. So this is what I mean, this is also where I kind of get like the color combination ideas off of as well, if you want to put it that way.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Slight tangent. The old like Uniqlo is practically the only clothing store I go to.
I know, right? It just feels so good to wear their stuff also, like just not gonna lie, like even their underwear, it's just you know.
Yeah, I know. And I think in my personal opinion by the way, I believe it's also one of the more affordable, quote unquote, branded clothing stores out there. At least when you when you compare to H&M or something like that.
Yeah.
And hello, Slaza, welcome.
Yep. Hello.
Right. But let's say if someone wants something that's luxurious, but not necessarily embroidered. Do you think that same luxurious effect can be achieved by, I don't know, adding a lot more detail to the textures in such a way that it almost looks like, well, woven cloth?
I guess you can, but then again, it's more to do with like how you play around. Okay, here's some technical stuff, right? In order to achieve like some of the textured effects on the clothing, all you need to do is to actually just put in the multiply layer, and then grab like someone else who probably, either you design the multiply layer yourself, or you grab like a free stock, or well, not so much free stock image. You pay for the licensing first, and then after that put it on. Then it looks like it is a woven piece of cloth or silk or anything else that you want to make it, but it will not have the same, I feel like it will not have the same sort of like sheen effect or shine as like, say, seeing it in real life, because the way 3D models lighting works is that it kind of requires you to know how to set like the normal maps and stuff like that, which is a little bit beyond the capabilities of VRoid at this point. So, maybe not yet.
Maybe not yet, you say.
Mhm.
Maybe not yet. So how about accessories? You thinking of that as well? Luxury accessories?
Luxury accessories. I mean, I guess you can do that already. It's just a matter of like drawing the necklace accessories, right? And then just having a guide on how to put that on your avatar using the hair tool and everything. Cause it's like
Ah,
because on one hand it can feel really stupidly easy, but on the other hand, how do you sell that experience to make it luxurious, you know?
true. I guess because I don't know. I guess people like I guess it's also expected that people don't really want to put in the work to feel luxurious in a way, because I do recall even the glasses I've gotten for myself were a bit of a pain to assemble.
Mm.
And they were, and as you can clearly see, they're not luxurious in the slightest.
Yeah.
No, don't get me wrong.
It's
They're a nice pair of glasses, sure, but definitely not luxurious.
Yeah, and especially since you have to sort of like have like a technical guide on how to like merge your hair textures even, which is like, huh? You gotta look through the code and actually do this thing. It's like, oh no, why? I don't want to do that. But perhaps in the next VRoid Studio update, they'll make it easier to merge hair textures. I don't know, but yeah.
I see. Well, speaking of hair textures, one of your claims to fame was actually being able to create human organs with VRoid hair.
Ah, yes, the Penanga.
And
Well,
actually, let me just bring this up for the audience.
oh, you know what surprises me though?
Hmm.
Somebody actually bought that. I'm
Wait,
like, I
what?
thought that was just literally just gonna be like a portfolio piece to just showcase, like, hey, I can make a freaking penanggal out of hair. But someone actually bought that in the month of like October, and I'm like, why?
Well,
Okay, thank you, but why?
well, if any one of you, if any were curious as to what a penanggal is, here you go. Here's Amanda's cursed creation of a penangalized version of MyVT's founder.
Right there, boy.
Yeah, let me just do this. Yep. He is hovering over you, telling you to cease.
Yeah, Airy the Seas machine.
Cease. Yeah. Okay. Bringing this up, actually, the Penanggal Eri, which I've conveniently placed between you and the chat box. So, how did you make human organs in with VRoid?
Hair. Okay. But more details on that. It's actually just using that curvature tool so that. Okay, so you see the esophagus and the stomach is actually connected together, right?
Yeah.
So at first you're gonna need to make sure that the nodes for the curve is actually somewhere a little bit lower, so that it becomes like a thin line. Then you add one near the top so that it curves into a stomach shaped thing, and then after that curve it back down to the bottom again, where it would connect to like the pancreas, duodenum, and everything, and then go into the small intestines, right? Then the liver is also pretty much the same thing. You gotta have that sort of curvature going on to the shape of the brush, and then I see what you're doing there. I see. Do I have a stand?
No.
Yeah, I guess.
So Amanda now has a stand, and it's called Cease.
Is there even a song that has the word "cease" as its title? You could say, well, you could say that I just summoned like gold airy requiem or something.
All right. Now let me just put this away before Eri murders me in my sleep.
Well, I mean, I think he's probably seen worse things already.
True. But we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
Yeah.
We
This
don't
is the
talk-
state. This is the. I'll leave the 10% Chaonima side to me outside after the stream. Oh no, I just said the word.
Chaonima. That's also another claim to fame.
Yes.
So why Chaonima?
I don't know. I really.
Out of all out of all the Chinese auntie-isms, why Chaonima?
That only happened because I was in Dippy's stream from Niwatori TV on the Twitch side of things, and I was in that Spanish learning class, and then just out of nowhere, that quote where I'm like, well, you know, I'm like 90% wholesome, 10% Chaonima just came out, and then now it just kind of stuck. That is all.
Yeah, and I believe that made a more recent appearance in the in one of your earlier VTuber D20 streams.
You mean the one where my son decides to summon me and then say
Yes.
and then cause that appearance of the so who would win? Like a bunch of cultists that's about to like take away my son, and or one Chaonima screaming Asian. Well, sometimes in days like this, I just kind of wish a cultist did take him away. Hi.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is and it is. And yes, Styrople's Fox. What do indeed. What do. Well, Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
Considering that Chaonima is your claim to fame, like, what did you actually start out with?
I don't know. I never really. I guess I never really had any other like curse word to fall into. Like.
No, I don't mean curse words. No, I meant what sort of other thing were you most known for before Chaonima? Because I'm quite curious.
Well, VRoid tutorials, I guess, and then after that, just doing VRoid working, like in the process of like doing the seamstressing, and then just streaming it on YouTube, and then sometimes on Twitch. But I think when it comes to like streaming the work of VRoiding, I kind of have a preference towards YouTube in general because of its searchability. It's a lot easier to actually find like live streams of other people like doing VRoid work over here rather than over at Twitch, because there isn't even a specific category that says like VRoid Studio over there. At least not yet.
At least, yeah, not yet indeed. Well. Alright, let's see now. Oh yeah, Amanda, one question though.
Mm-hmm.
Why Penanggal? And why does it have to be Eri?
This one I'm going to have to just basically call out Oni in the chat right now.
Oh.
Well, it came from that. Just kind of came from him going like, "What if Eri accidentally green screened himself?" Because you know he's kind of like quote unquote known for having this green hoodie over him. Yes,
Oh, no.
he has been summoned. Yeah, he made an edit where Eri got chroma keyed out with the green color, and then that just kind of like sprung from there, and then it just happened where I was like revisiting the idea of, oh hey, I could make almost anything out of hair, right? Let me just try and do this thing, and then it works. Let's put Eri in it, and then it happened.
Oh, but why penanggal? You could have went with literally anything else.
I mean, it is a challenge, you know.
Like
it's a challenge to draw it.
Like in the list of Southeast Asian cryptids of all the different, you could have went for the hantu galah for all I know. Like really tall Titan Eri, but no, you went for the penanggal.
I mean, I can't help it though. It just literally happened because I think when Okami was still active also, right? We also just basically just started talking about it and then going like, okay, penanggal Eri when, and then that just kind of like stuck, and there you go.
Don't worry. Eri will from this day onwards, Eri will no longer be alone because this is now your stand. I dub thee Pomanda or Pochong Amanda.
Yes. My own stress word has been used against me now. Okay. Just for some context for people who don't understand who don't understand the Malay language. Okay. I also blame my ex-colleagues for this because he also says like aku nak jadi like, okay, something much worse than just the word pocong. Pocong is me trying to say his word into something a little bit more like SFW. So pocong. Okay, the pocong is, as some would know, as the emergency dakimakura, but it's actually not that. It's actually just literally the potato sack ghost. The potato sack ghost or hang on. I need some water. Oh my goodness. Okay. I actually do need to fill in my water first, though. I guess you can just go ahead and entertain the viewers with Pochong Amanda while I get the water.
No. All right. Someone mentioned white Amanda. Hang on. Like while we wait for Amanda to return here, like have white Amanda. Hang on.
Okay, new water.
No.
Oh my goodness.
You came back already.
Yeah. I just basically had the tap water because Singapore and new water is a thing, and yeah.
Behold, white Manda.
For that one split second. That one goddamn.
Pochong Amanda in VRoid next pog.
You know what? I am actually tempted to try and see if I can actually recreate that, because if somebody can actually make a Muslimah like look base model out of that,
wait,
nothing's stopping you from actually doing a pocong.
Wait, why?
No.
What? No. Why specific? Why did you specifically jump to Muslimah when the topic of pocong came about?
I mean, no. Because okay. Wait. So there is actually a VRoid model of a Muslima as a base. So it's like the way the tudong was actually sculpted was actually using hair. So it's like, okay, tudong extend it downwards and then there you go, it's a pocong, right? So I'm like that logic just kind of like connected. So yeah. Also congrats on like getting that one ticket gacha roll, Oni. Well. Yeah, you have been blessed by white and oh no. So instead of just saying that the peak of my career is me being the Chaunima screaming Asian getting memed, I also have now white Amanda and Pochong Menda as well.
Yes.
Congratulations. What am I doing with my life?
Congratulations. Yes, I know. I mean, hey, we've been talking a lot about like pretty dry stuff. So why? So I figured, yeah, lighten up the mood a bit. Pretty dry. Anyways, this actually is going to bring us to the end of our podcast for today. Funny enough, yeah, I know it is a bit shorter than the other podcasts I've done, but that's only because for starters, this is the first of its kind where it's talking we're talking about more, I guess you could say, educational aspects of things rather than the more lighthearted and very casual D&D podcasts I've been doing for the past few podcasts.
Yeah, and thanks for having me around. Even though technically I'm not that much of I wouldn't even say that I'm a pioneer in it either, because obviously the Japanese market has a much better like sample size, but of course the pain of translating would be very apparent. So
yeah, fair enough. All right, and thank you everyone for coming to my podcast today on this beautiful Monday morning.
I mean, if you guys have any other questions that you want to ask on chat before we end the stream, that'll be fine. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Does anyone have any questions or any requests for our auntie before we end it here?
The thing is, me getting called auntie, I blame Eri for this. So I could probably say that the Penanggal Eri is sort of like a comeuppance to him calling me auntie. Yeah.
So it's justified.
Requests or questions? Yeah. So, what do you have on your mind, thy purple fox?
What is it you have in mind? Ooh.
Yeah. Well, you can always just put the means to like fill in the dead air while people type out.
No, this isn't to fill out the dead air. This is pretty much like assembling the three horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yes, the rotan wielding Asian, the potato sack ghost, and the Penanggal Eri. Let's go. How do you compare the purchasing power of Southeast Asian customers to the other regions right now? I would say that for sure the biggest purchasing power would be from like the from the Japanese and the American and even the European markets right now. So like so there is like a very, how do you say, it feels like a disparate thing to want to actually like try and like appeal to the Southeast Asian market right now, but then there's only one platform for the VRoid clothes right now. So I guess in that sense, like, okay, wait, what are you doing? What are you doing to my PNG?
Attack on Amanda.
Okay. No. Okay, but yeah, there isn't as much purchasing power from Southeast Asian customers right now. So, like, among the community members of like MyVT, I actually don't mind just like doing free stuff, but it's only because like I actually genuinely enjoy like hanging out with other Malaysians and other Southeast Asians as well, and then like because they just want to sort of like have a much better look and feel to them. I'm like, okay, I might as well just donate my time a bit. But if you are from the Western Hemisphere and or from the Japanese market, hi, my booth shop exists. Use that instead of asking for free stuff, because I do not do that here. Yeah, so it's a really hard thing to sort of like differentiate that, and plus I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get some flack already for stating that outright as well. But oh well.
Oh well, what can you do? What can you do?
Mhm.
All right. So, are there any other questions? Taking it to the floor.
Yeah, but thanks for the question. That was actually a really interesting one.
Yeah, that is actually a really interesting one. Yeah, purchasing power of Southeast Asian customers to the other regions.
Yeah, I think the only differentiator is the Singaporean market, because the dollar to USD ratio is actually pretty close. So and of course it's the richest region in Southeast Asia right now. So yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay. 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 All right. Yeah. Speaking of purchasing power, where do most of your buyers come from anyway?
The States and Japan. Yeah.
Ah.
Though, yeah, the one buyer of that Penanggal thing was actually based in Europe. So
Ah.
I don't know what you're gonna do there, but okay. Okay.
Weird flex, but okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I have something if you can wait for a bit. Okay.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean,
Okay, I guess.
technically the actual podcast part is over, and now it's just, I guess we can change it to a bit more of a just chatting sort of feel.
Yeah.
While we
Ciao ni ma.
while being
Ciao ni ma.
No. Ciao ni ma. 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 What does ciao ni ma mean anyway?
It just means F your mom, that's all.
Ah, so basically, if you put it to the tune of Koro Funk, it just sounds like F your mum, F your mum, F your mum. Ah, naruhodo.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I am not really confident in just saying Chinese words, random Chinese words to people. It doesn't help that that a lot of the Chinese words I know are the not very nice kind.
It's okay. That's the same with me and a lot of the languages that I dip into as well, including Spanish.
Of course.
The very well-known clip that kind of just, well, not that well-known, just a very infamous clip that I got clipped for in that stream. The bottle hole has been aflohood. I will not translate that. Please find that out on your own and find the clip. It'll be like an ARG for you to just go ahead and search for that.
Walao indeed by Purple Fox.
Yeah.
Walao eh.
Walao eh.
Walao. Man, this is almost like a surreal image in and of itself. I am being surrounded by the 3 horsemen of the apocalypse. No, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse actually. We have White Manda, Pochomanda, Penanggal Eri, and the shopkeeper himself. This is.
But speaking of which,
interesting.
yes?
Yes?
have you seen that fan art that Slazer actually did of me, where it's also a Penanggal Amanda?
Oh yes, I have. Hang on. Actually, let me just bring that up.
More to add to the army of the apocalypse bringing Ragnarok world ending for Amanda's of the Amandalypse.
The 4 Amandas of the Amandalypse.
Oh no!
More like, oh yes.
Well, It is what it is.
It is what it is. The portmanteaus of the apocalypse. I love that. I love that. Hang on.
Yeah.
All right.
I swear to God, I think it's only after I participated in the MyVT community that I started getting memed a lot more, because otherwise I'd also still be as dry as heck. So, well, well, I mean, yeah, in that sense, I definitely have the MyVT community to thank for, because otherwise I'd probably just be like, people, this face of Alywen designs exists. People. I just basically be a cyborg, you know, talking about really dry subjects like VRoid studio techniques and everything. Though then again, I'm not too opposed to being kind of dry if I have to be.
Papa.
Oh no. VTuber chat in which server?
No, hang on, actually. There we go. There.
Oh my god.
There.
Cousin server. Yeah, I saw. We're in it. We're actually using it right now. Oh, dude. Do you want to show that on the stream as well? Because
yes.
Because we're not.
Yes.
Nice JoJo pose though. I like how I basically equated to Jotaro already right now with this, even though like I don't feel like an inch closer to Jotaro in terms of its energy.
Jotaro has energy?
Yeah, exactly. I have the energy. He doesn't. But then, you know, you just stand there with that, and then you're like, and then yeah.
All right.
God damn, you guys are art speed, man.
Ding okay. I am a man of sophisticated humor.
Kono wide man dada.
Kono wide man dada. Ura.
Don't you mean for that line you'll have to be like Muda? Muda.
Johnny ma.
Johnny.
Johnny ma.
No. I mean, okay, yes, meme it if you want to, but then I have no idea how that line's gonna work. Going like Johnny.
Anjay. Yes.
That's so sad cry. More like for the battle cry.
Yep.
Actually, that rolls off a lot better, you know. Yeah. But what the hell? That feels kind of Pokemon-ish, doesn't it? It's like you're just saying your name and then you're like Pika, and then you know instead of like Pika, it's like Pika.
Pikachu. This better used for cover song. Yeah, but did you know that Amanda that there is a dark side to our auntie?
What you mean? What you mean by that?
What do I mean? I wonder. What do I mean? I wonder.
What you mean?
No, I'm not gonna spoil the surprise. No, there you go. There we go. Ciao, Nima.
What's going on? Hang on. I think the stream is probably buffering on my end, so I can't. Ah! Yes. Oh my god!
This was a picture taken of her in the year 1984.
Yeah, 1984.
And any position right behind here, it actually looked like a stand.
Oh my god, how many stands am I gonna accumulate in my lifetime, man? It's almost as if I'm gonna turn into the next Poochie or something.
Oh no.
Made in heaven. Accelerate the universe and then create a completely new one. Welcome to the other trouser of time. You can only go in, but you can never leave. Yeah. That was like a Terry Pratchett and Hotel California meme combo all in one.
I know. Oh man. Yes, like if the next Yakuza game does not have Matriarch or the Alywen clan, that would be pretty sad.
No, I think it will probably have to be in the Sleeping Dogs franchise because there's no there's no other way to show a really scary auntie rather than in a Hong Kong cop drama sort of context, you know?
You thought wrong.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh really?
Amanda, is that you? And yes, this auntie got so many stands. No. You see, previously that was the Four Horsemen of the Amancalypse. Now this is the actual stand.
Yeah, and not gonna lie, that's probably from like my ancestral line of other matriarchal figures. My grandmother is also a matriarch.
I see. You see, like your grandmother, your great ancestor Amanda, who is the mother to your younger ancestor Amanda, who also had a daughter named Amanda, who later passed it down to Amanda.
Oh my god. Oh shit. This just it reminds me of that one Disney movie that was shown on demand, like Wendy Wu Warrior Princess or something like that. They basically took like a picture of Brenda's song and then just did a Photoshop job out of her to look like some old scroll, and then boom, this is your great grandmother now, and you're like, huh?
Amandaception.
Ah, dang.
All right. Now this marks the actual end of the part of the stream. Because if we stay here any further, we're just going to keep on memeing on poor Amanda until the end of time. So thank you everyone for coming to today's podcast. This has been Nyx Sulaiman, Eternal College student, and
in before Yamateo.
Yep, and Amanda Alywen, underground auntie. Again, if you want to check out her stuff, look down in the description below. There, the link to her booth shop should be there. And if you like what I do, feel free to like and subscribe, or don't. It's your life. And I will be seeing you whenever. This is Nyx Sulaiman, signing off.
See ya.